Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out TrueOffMyChest. Story 1. Fuck Corporate America. I am the highest performing manager for my company in the entire state. I even oversee a second location due to staffing shortages. They have changed my pay plan 3 times in the last 3 months and now I make 50% of what I did prior. The owner just bought another vacation home. Several of the area managers have purchased exotic sports cars recently. Now I have to find a part-time job to pay my mortgage this month until I find my next job. Fuck these selfish California fucks. Story 2. I'm glad a fight happened in my classroom. I'm a teacher. I teach 10 and 11-year-olds. I have one particularly rough class out of my 3 classes. They are all big personalities vying to be the number 1 cool kid. I believe they are all capable of better except one. I believed in him too, at first. Then I tried to talk with him and his mom at parent-teacher conferences. I told him I wanted him to be a role model, not try to be cool by shouting out, yelling, being mean, etc. And he straight up said, yeah, I know I'm cool cause I beat up student. And then proceeded to punch his own hand and say bop 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 and basically relished that he had punched another student in the bathroom the week prior. He just kept shrugging and saying he didn't care and he would do it again. His mom told us he is already in behavioral therapy. Today, he attacked another student, the same one he punched the first time. I was watching them but couldn't hear them as I was dealing with someone else who was acting out, so I don't know what triggered it. The other student didn't even try to fight back, he just got punched and kicked repeatedly despite me trying to break it up. My principals immediately took over, gave me time to take a breath and write out my statement, and busied the rest of the class with an activity in the library. He is suspended for a minimum of 10 days and my main principal already said she's going to appeal for long-term suspension, which will more than likely be approved by our superintendents because that is not a recommendation my principal ever makes lightly. Superintendent is sick of disrespectful, violent kids. Afterwards, word traveled fast and other teachers kept asking me if I was alright. I had to resist the urge to say that I am happy. I do feel a little bad for the kid who got beat up but ultimately he walked away fine, just a little sore, and he almost certainly is not 100% innocent. But he's gone, the one who attacked. For at least 2 weeks, probably the rest of the year. I don't ever have to deal with him again. I might actually be able to get this class under control. These kids might actually get to learn. I promise I'm not evil. I feel bad for this child who clearly has mental health issues and will hopefully continue to get better through therapy and maybe medications, but I am glad that he is off my hands and I can maybe, finally, give the other 22 kids in his class the education they deserve. Story 3. He might have gave me herpes, I'm scared but still with him. I was a 30-year-old virgin until early this year. I met a guy who I was very attracted to and lost my virginity to him, but we didn't become anything more than that. I met another guy months later and we had sex early on, protected sex. He was open about his sexual history and just got out of a long-term relationship and haven't slept around since. I thought I could trust him. One night after grabbing some drinks I ended up at his place and he asked if we could do it without a condom. At this point he had already put it in and I thought he ran out of condoms because of all the protected sex we had that week. Again, I thought I could trust him. I mentioned to him on a date before I never hook up around, before the guy I was really attracted to, because I fear STDs and he nodded along. We had unprotected sex twice that night. After that night, he confessed he has HSV too and wasn't thinking with the alcohol. My first reaction wasn't anger, I actually felt for him. I didn't want to make him feel bad and gave him a hug. Then it started to turn into anger. Why didn't he tell me? I was feeling all sorts of emotions, fear of contracting HSV too as I read up more about it, anger he would risk me like that, but on the other hand, I enjoyed our interaction and was unsure if I should keep this going. I visited the doctors for a physical examination 3 weeks after exposure, nothing. I did a blood test 5 weeks after exposure, it was okay. But I am still not in the clear. The doctor said it takes 3 months for the blood test to be around 95% accurate. Now I am just living and waiting every day in fear that I got it from a guy who won't be my boyfriend. I continued to see him after he told me. But didn't want to have sex with him until we're sure this would be a relationship. I am seeing signs of incompatibility now and losing attraction already. But I don't have the courage to end things because what if I turn positive? He might be the only one who would ever want me. Sometimes when I think about how the events unfolded I feel really angry but couldn't bring myself to lash out at him. I don't think I can breathe a word about this to anyone else without feeling shame. He might be the only one I can turn to if I turn positive, yet he is also the one who got me into this state in the first place. It is like Stockholm Syndrome. I have only ever been with 2 guys sexually briefly at 30 and this is already the end of it. I am devastated. It will be hard or never for me to find a fulfilling relationship with HSV2 and how I got it, from the second guy I was seeing casually and not a boyfriend. People are going to think I slept around. I'm based in Asia where people are a lot more conservative and not the best informed or most receptive towards prevalence of STDs. My life was just starting to pick up. Growing up I never had the best childhood nor emotionally available parents. I spent my 20s resenting and finally decided I am going to pick myself up and have the best life ahead of me while healing. And now I might be stricken with HSV2, it's a lot and too much to handle. I'm scared and don't know what to do. I fear deeply I would lead a less fulfilling life now. Most people would bail finding this out about me before even getting to know me because why would they risk it? There are a whole lot of other girls around. I am ruined. No healthy man would ever see me to be deserving of love nor take me seriously. I might be always seen as less. Story 4. I can't keep piecing my child back together. There's an ongoing custody case against my daughters, 9F, father. We had a peaceful co-parenting for 4 years until he began dating his now wife 3 years ago. There is quite a bit of neglect, emotional, and verbal abuse in their household, and I can't stand the effect it's having on my child. Please believe me that I have strived to always maintain a neutral attitude about her dad in front of her and to create a stable and consistent home for her. I've had her in therapy for over a year. 2 weeks ago, he threatened to break all of her electronics and throw them in the swimming pool if she continued to talk to me about the things that go on at his house. This weekend, there was a DV incident involving the cops, which she witnessed. To top it off, she came with a 104-degree fever and had a febrile seizure, so we had to rush off to the hospital. I can't stand how shut down and withdrawn she was when she came home. We're fast approaching an age where mommy snuggles and hugs can't make it all better. Piecing her back together after these visitation weekends is a battle, and I feel like I'm losing, no matter what I do. And while I know it isn't about me, I'm just physically and emotionally exhausted, not to mention the strain that lawyer fees are putting on our budget. I can't quit crying. There's no easy solution to this. I just needed to vent for a minute. Edit. I was very surprised to see this gain any attention, but thank you for the kind words. I would like to be clear that we do have an excellent lawyer, and legal action has been taken. I'll pay any price to ensure her safety, but I'd also be lying if I said it isn't a struggle. Story 5. I want to be trashy. I am a 30-year-old female and all my life I've been a tightly laced, rule follower, non-polarizing, straight and narrow person. I don't smoke, no drugs, and I don't drink unless it's an occasion or maybe a dinner with other people / someone else. I don't do anything with my hair other than wear it down and lightly curled. I don't wear anything very revealing. I've been wearing dresses for years and have heavily learned into modest and / or light vintage inspired attire. My makeup is always natural. No color eyeshadow or pretty lipstick, maybe red for an occasion. I'm pretty. You know. The kind of pretty that turns heads for sure but still only the kind of pretty that is she'd look good as a wife / mother pretty. Not goddamn she's hot kind of pretty. And I am thoroughly bored. 30 years of making sure I'm palpable. Of not being polarizing with the way I present myself. Of making sure I'll find a good husband one day and raise well-kept children. Making sure I get the mom SUV and host dinners every third Saturday night. 30 years of making sure my clothes are clean and pressed, I don't wear funky patterns, wearing French nails or maybe cute designs like clouds and stars. Short and never too long. I am vanilla ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. I am fucking bored. And feel stifled. I want a tattoo on my lower back, affectionately referred to as a tramp stamp. I've wanted one for years. It's hot. It's like a secret unless I bend down to pick something up or stretch my arms over my head. I want red nails. I want long messy hair like Pam Anderson or Brigitte Bardot. I wanna wear crop tops while I have the body to and low-rise jeans and Daisy Dukes. I want to wear too much lip gloss. I wanna express myself without fear of being disliked or to please anyone else. I just wanna be free to wear I want and feel hot, not just pretty. I want a vintage pickup truck. I want to go out more, meet people, overdo it a little bit here and there. I don't wanna be traditional anymore. I'm getting married next year and my fiancé said we'll get you a good mid-sized SUV to lug the kids around. And I just realized that sounds horrible. Kids. Plural? No thank you. A fucking mom car? No thank you, OMG. I didn't get to live the way I want to yet. I haven't explored expressing myself, my sexuality, being a woman. To be clear, I don't want anyone but him, and I don't mean sleeping with anyone else. Just feeling myself in this body before kids ruining it. But where do I start? Story 6. My husband is embarrassed to be seen with me in public. He is physically more attractive than me. He's a fit, good-looking man and I've always been the ugly friend and the fat girl. I feel like my husband settled for me because everyone does look at us weird since we don't match up physically. I've heard people talk behind our backs and be shocked that he married me because he can do better and how he can easily pull a hotter girl, but they think I baby-trapped him because we coincidentally got married while I was pregnant. I've heard people talk behind my back and make nasty. Story 7. I miss my ex-BF so incredibly bad. I have so much regret in me. I let my own fears and trauma get in the way of behaving correctly within the relationship. I love and adore him greatly, yet I let him slip away. I feel like a clown. Story 8. Gen Z is the worst generation ever and I have no desire to talk to anyone my age again. There has never been a cringier and more socially awkward generation than Gen Z. Nobody has an attention span, and tons of people my age care about pointless shit like online drama and use ridiculous words like riz blood and all kinds of other gibberish in public conversations instead of using real words like an adult. I have no desire to speak to anyone my age any longer. I'm 20 years old and I've still never kissed a woman before. I don't even care anymore, and I haven't even had a crush on a girl since I was 16. Most women don't offer anything nowadays and are annoying. The same goes for men, just for making friends in general. I prefer to be alone at this point. If I ever feel like I need social interaction one day, I'll just get a dog or a cat. If I ever get horny, I can just pull up one of the millions of porn videos out there on the internet nowadays and fix that problem within a few minutes. There's no reason for me to ever attend social events, and there is no way that I'm ever going to hit up the bars, or get on a dating so I can try and pull off a riz. God, this shit is just so fucking stupid to read to myself in my head right now typing it out. I'm done with society. Leave me alone is my new life motto. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.